easy with your ugly behind. Ooh, we gonna tell your mama. So tell her. Nah, 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 your mama's on crack rock. Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. No, she ain't. Your mama's on crack rock. I don't wanna hear it. Your mama's on crack rock.
Yo, here's a story about a girl who was tricking on the app. It might be your mama, but don't you laugh. Last night I saw your mama. She was tricking on the block. You know what she was doing? She was tricking for the crack rock.
Your mama's on crack rock. Not my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. You got life. Your mama's on crack rock. Girl, I bust you up. Your mama's on crack rock.
Now, does your mama selling body for crack?
My mama told somebody that your mama selling her body for money, but I don't know what that means. My mama told me she is selling her body for crack. You can talk about my mom, but I bet my mom don't have that weed in her head.
Yo, young lady, what's up, baby? You be coming around here with all that money and stuff all the time, baby. Where you get that money from? You got 6 kids at the house to feed. What's up, girl?
Yeah, but I just got $1.50 and I need a hit real bad. I'm trimming and I just need a hit.
Your mama's on crack rock. Girl, you crazy? Your mama's on crack rock. My mama in a rehab. Your mama's on crack rock. My mama don't do that no more. Your mama's on crack rock.
Now, I hate to say this, but your mama's on the crack. What? I saw her
up?
tricking yo.
YouTube, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Now and in the future, what's up? Boy, do I have a story for you today.
I know her now. She's what you
Woo!
mother. She has a jacket on.
Listen, this is going to be explicit language today. So if you're not into curse words, you might want to shut it down right now. Because I'm about to get into it.
Your mama's on crack rock. That's the granddad. Your mama's on crack rock.
Yes.
Your mama's on crack rock. Don't talk about my mama. Your mama's on crack rock. You better go with that girl. Your mama's on crack rock. I shut your big mouth. Your mama's on crack rock. 'Cause she's a crackhead. Mama, please stop, 'cause they picking at me.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Dev? You singing? Sing it, Dev. I'll tell you what. What's going on, everybody? I tell you, I can't make this stuff up any better. Damn. What's up with... I don't really talk about the Jehovah's all that much anymore. I mean, I'm not opposed to talking about Jehovah's. Oh, shit. But, oh my God. What's up with all of these Jehovah's Witness crack whores? I mean, that's just the way I'm going to say it out. I'm just going to be blunt about it. I'm not going to beat around the bush, folks. But we have, apparently this is a thing. Is this a thing? Because I didn't get the memo. Not that I'm supposed to get a memo or anything, but I just think it's very bizarre to keep sussing out sex workers of all things. There's these sex workers that infiltrate interest groups that have nothing to do with sex. Okay? And they're in there low-key advertising. Okay? So the convo, you might be in a group about cats. You might be someone who's into cats, who's got pets, cats, and is just somebody that I keep getting messages about a roast that I did, what I'm about to tell you here. And, people have just been telling me they've cried laughing, cried themselves to sleep over this last roast I did on this particular individual. So, I don't understand, people. Is this a thing? Somebody please let me know. You know, I consider myself a halfway intelligent person, but I just don't understand. You have these sex worker hookers, okay? Hookers is what I call them. Hookers, okay? Not hooker, not hooker, but hookers. Hookers, okay? Say it with me. Hookers, okay? You gotta put some of your your gut into it, your diaphragm. Hookers. Hooker, okay? That's how y'all say it. Prostitutes, sex workers, hoes, whores, harlots, hookers. All of that is the same thing to me. Okay. Now, I don't care what a person does. You know, it's two consenting adults, whatever. You know what I mean? But now, when you low key want to advertise in a group, in groups that are not of that genre, shall we say, that are on cats or quilting or cannabis or music or drawing, and you're in these groups low-key advertising your sex services, like that's a no bueno. I ain't got time for that, because if people want that, they know where to go. Why are you coming in and blaspheming and dirtying up our community interest group? You know what I mean? And of all things, these bitches turn out to be Jehovah's Witnesses. Do you hear me? Yes, I said it right. Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah. Jehovah, Yahweh Witnesses. You know what I'm talking about. Watchtower, JW.org. I don't understand. I keep seeing this over and over and over. It started with the XJW groups. The guy, what's his name? The one that looks like Alf to me with the two little, strands on the top of his head, the real thin hair on the top. What's that dude's name? We call him Joel Hova. I don't remember his last name. But he called it. He called it, and I fell out when he said it. XJW tranny hookers. And you know what he was talking about, right? He called it. I roasted that motherfucker down to the ground, but I'll never forget when he took me out with XJW tranny hookers. I was dead at that. I was dead laughing at that because he clocked it. He fucking clocked it. It's some XJW tranny hookers up in that community, low-key advertising and, marketing their sex services. And I thought that was bizarre back then, and I thought it was only in the ex-Jehovah Witness groups. You know what I mean? I thought that was exclusive. That kind of crazy was exclusive to those groups, Excuse me. And, when you think about it from a hooker's perspective, from a sex worker's perspective, it makes a lot of sense why they would be advertising in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, because the Jehovah's and the exes, a lot of them are sexually repressed. You know what I mean? They can't get married. They can't have sex before marriage, and then they can't have just any kind of sex. It can only be missionary sex, missionary style, and and then they got the whole child abuse thing up in there. So you got a lot of nasty ass perverts, on top of the sexual repression. And you have a lot of sexual deviancy and perversions and abuse, okay? So, yeah, I could see why the hookers want to go down in there and get, because that's their market. I totally get it, A crack dealer is going to go where there's crack addicts. They're not going to go to people that don't do crack. They wouldn't make any business. So they're going to think about, well, where are the crack addicts likely? Well, up in the Kingdom Hall, you got a lot of this suppression and twistedness going on and cult and high control. So yeah, you can sell your oxycodones and your codeines and your crack up to those people because they're taking it behind the scenes, sell that liquor. They're drunkards, they drink that hard liquor too. I tell you, some of the best liquor I got was from some bona fide fundamentalist Christians, okay? Some of these preachers and elders and bishops, I'm telling you, they got the strongest fire-ass booze, okay? They got the hardest damn liquor, you know what I mean? That shit is fit for some anesthesia, All right, I'm just here to tell you. Anyway, back to this. So apparently, apparently, this is a thing, not just in the XJW groups, folks. There are Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know. I don't understand this. I really don't understand. Are they doing field service through sex work now? Or, they're it's like they're doing theocratic warfare and sex work at the same time. Let me tell you. So apparently they don't just hit the ex-Jehovah Witness groups. Like I said, they hit just about any kind of groups because I was in the cannabis and psychedelic and mushroom groups. Okay. And I like to go in there and just, learn as much as I can about that. That's how I do market research. I take part in a lot of different user groups involving certain topics such as cannabis and even art and music. And I do a lot of research in that by joining those groups and looking at what the people are asking, what kinds of questions are coming up over and over again. What are people searching for as far as information? What kinds of products are they using in relation to that interest, and so forth and so on. And social media platforms can be a gold mine of market research. Whereas years before, you would have had to pay thousands of dollars for a marketing company to do that research for you, and it might not even have been as good as what you might get from social media, because back then they would take polls and do case studies, but people aren't always honest. Sometimes they give you answers that they think you want as opposed to what they really are thinking and feeling, and more importantly buying ultimately, right? People will tell you they'll buy something all day long, but until they put that dollar in your hand for that actual product or service, it's all fluff. And so when you're able to go into the platforms, the social media platforms, you're basically talking to your market directly. You're talking to the very people that are in your market, and you're able to see what it is they are concerned about, what it is they're looking for, what it is that worries them up at night, what keeps them going as far as this hobby or this particular industry or this market. You have direct access to these people, and you can observe and learn a lot from their Facebook posts, their Twitter posts, their TikToks, Instagram, the whole gambit, right? So that is what I like to do. And I found myself in a psychedelic group, and I was invited. Apparently on Facebook, they have the regular groups that are out where you can pull them up through the search. And then there's these user chat groups, user created chat groups that are invisible, and you don't know they exist until you are invited to them. And they are only accessible through the messenger feature. So you will not see that invite if you don't have that messenger app. So very interesting. So I started getting these invites to these invisible chat groups, and I would, of course, join. And I saw I saw a couple of different things in there, and I wondered, now, is this something that they might not want to put on, the internet chat thing? I don't know, but okay. Anyway, excuse me. I was in this one psychedelic group, cannabis and mushrooms, and we were going along doing our thing, talking about mushrooms and cannabis. Yeah, it needs to be legalized. Yeah, they need to legalize it all across the world, and blah blah blah, this is a good thing and all of that, right? So then this particular woman comes on there, and she starts talking about it's International Women's Day, And this guy told me, when I told him it was International Women's Day, he told me that I needed to drink a glass of wine and take a Midol and eat some chocolate. And I told him to fuck off. You know, she basically just takes over the whole convo. And okay, fine. You know, that's how it happens in chat. People come in there with different things, you know. And so we were supporting her because it was mostly guys. So we were supporting her on that, you know, Happy Women's Day. And I even went into about this thing about how society still doesn't view women as equal, and you know they need to be getting paid equally, just as much as men. And she was kind of silent on that, and I thought that was kind of strange because usually most women will wholeheartedly agree. They'll be like right up on it, right? And so I thought, okay, well, anyway, hey. And then she started talking about how she was abused and how these entheogens have helped her. And she was going into details about how she'd been sexually abused. So some of the other guys said, you know, that they could relate because they had similar experiences. I mentioned very briefly that I could also relate, and that I also had went through cult abuse, and I briefly mentioned how the Jehovah's Witnesses help to cover that up, and you know, the things that they do to victims on top of victimizing victims and shielding predators. So I briefly mentioned that they had a database, that they have a two-witness rule, that they have a database, you know, and it's all in the news. So this hooker, okay, I'm going to tell you in a minute why I call her a hooker, okay, because some people I call hookers just to call them that, but this one is a bona fide true hooker, okay. This hooker comes up in there, and she says, oh, by the way, I'm an unashamed sex worker, and I don't care who judges me, and I'm a proud sex worker. And, like, nobody was talking about that, like, and we were like, we didn't say anything to her, right? But we were like, in the DMs, in our one-to-one private DMs, we were like, okay, like, that's TMI, like, good for you, you're an unashamed sex worker and proud, okay, good for you, like, what's that got to do with psychedelics and cannabis and mushrooms, right? So then she turns around, and this is where she fucks up, okay? I don't care about if you're a hooker. First of all, I don't care if you're a hooker, okay? I don't care if you're out here getting paid to suck dick and get pissed and shat on and all of that. I don't care. Just keep it away from me, okay? But other than that, if it's two consenting adults, I don't give a fuck. Just, you know, don't bring it to me. I'm not about that life. Don't try to advertise to me because I ain't got... First of all, I don't have any money for you, okay? And second of all, if I had money, I still wouldn't do it, okay? Because I've never had to pay for it, okay? I've never, ever had to pay for coochie and never will, okay? Never. Never had a problem in that department, okay? You know, I've always had female company of one sort or another, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be sexual either. You know, it's just I've never had a problem having female friends and female lovers and company of the female persuasion. That's just me, you know. Anyway, this hooker, how about she says, well, what your mother and step person did to you is what they did, and it's I don't think the Jehovah's Witnesses had anything to do with that. And I have studied the Bible with them on and off for many years, and they would never do that, and they're good people, and totally invalidating my experience. Now, mind you, when she was out there talking about her childhood sexual abuse, We were all holding space for her, you know. We dropped our convo to hold space for her thing, and we supported her. And I even told her, I'm sorry that happened to you. You didn't deserve that. But now, when it was her turn, you know, to hold space for someone else, she wasn't about that. And furthermore, she was invalidating me, telling me that I didn't experience what I experienced and that the Watchtower was good people and all of this stuff. And I decided, I said, wait a minute now, wait a minute. Nobody gives a fuck about the Watchtower except for Watchtower people. You know, if you really had just studied a little bit here and there, why are you so pressed and why are you taking all this energy to completely do damage repair for this Watchtower? Now you are way too invested in doing damage control here. And I said, this is a Jehovah Witness. How about that? Because she was going on and on and on. Okay. And when I told her, you don't know, either you don't know what you're talking about, or you're a Jehovah's Witness. You're an undercover Jehovah's Witness. Okay. And before then, I forgot to tell you, before then, she was laying out her whole life story. She was talking about how she's a crackhead and she's trying to get over crack. And she's trying to, stay away from cocaine and from crack and all of that. So, after, when she got down to this Jehovah thing and doing what she did there, invalidating and totally talking the Jehovah's up and saying, oh, no, they could never do that and they're good people. And she studied with them. You know, how come every Jehovah's Witness denies being a Jehovah's Witness on the internet? That's the first question. Why do you all always pretend you're not a Jehovah's Witness? If I had $1 for every motherfucker that lied, straight out lied, or what they call theocratic warfare, in their terminology, it's quote unquote doing theocratic warfare to protect the organization. So it's okay to lie and say you're not a Jehovah's Witness, but your aunt is, or your coworker, or your best friend, or you studied with them. That's the classic one. Oh, well, I studied with the Jehovah's. I studied with them on and off, and they're not like that. They're good people. Wait a minute now. You're distancing yourself from your own organization because of this pedophile problem you guys have. But yet you take all this energy to do damage control and say, oh, no, it's not true. And, people lie and those are just disgruntled, or those are just, individual cases. It's not reflective of the whole organization. No way is it a systemic problem. Oh, no. It's one thing if you're doing it as a Jehovah's Witness, but it's another thing when you're a motherfucking hooker, a down low sex worker in a goddamn psychedelic mushroom and cannabis group. Like, what the actual fuck, bitch? I need answers. Help me make it make sense, folks. What's going on, Blaze? Something Found, Bexy, Auntie Mary. Well, what is going on here? And I see this time after time after time. Like, I'll be in these groups, chilling, minding my own business, doing my market research, once in a while engaging with people. And then I always suss out a Jehovah's Witness hooker. Now, I was told back in the day, the congregation that I had went years and years ago in a whole other state, in a whole other lifetime, that several of those sisters were seen at the truck stop, taking care of business down there for the fellas that's driving the trucks. And I thought that was just too preposterous. I said, I don't know about that. That is just way out there. You know what I mean? That sounds crazy. But then another part of me was like, well, I know what I've went through and I know what I've seen. So maybe it is kind of true. And it seems to be that a lot of these Jehovah's Witness women have careers, OnlyFans pages, what are those Cupid page? What the fuck is that? Trist. I looked at that bitch. Trist. She has a link tree, and I've clicked on all of her things, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, this is a whole Jehovah Witness whore, harlot. So I had to roast her to a charred crisp. I'm sorry, but that bitch, let me tell you, and she worked hard for that roast. She worked very, very hard for that roast, folks. Okay? She worked super fucking hard for the goddamn roast. Do you hear me? I'm trying to tell you. Because it took me a whole week before I roasted her. Because I told her, when I told her she didn't know what she was talking about, either you don't know what you're talking about, how are you going to tell me what I went through? And I was a Jehovah's Witness. You claim you only studied with them here and there, and you're a motherfucking crack addict hoe. How are you going to tell me what I lived? How are you going to tell all these thousands of other people what they lived and experienced with your crack addict ass? You see what I'm saying? So I think she was a Jehovah's Witness. Couldn't have been anything else because, like I said, she was going hard to defend the organization. And the average person, the average crack hoe that may have studied with the Jehovah's for a minute here and there is not going to get into it like that over the organization, okay? She is not going to get into it with anybody over the organization like that. Only a Jehovah's Witness does that. So I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. The cognitive dissonance is deep with these motherfuckers, folks. The cognitive dissonance, the split in reality with these people in their head is deep. I don't understand. Because this bitch commenced to low-key, after she was low-key advertising that she's a sex worker in the damn cannabis psychedelic groups. and I came out there with, exposing the watchtower a little bit. I mean, I didn't even go into it that much, She decided to do a theocratic warfare right along with that sex sex services. I'm dead. I am dead at that. I am just oh my god. Damn. These Jehovah's Witnesses and adjacent Jehovah's Witnesses, oh my god, and ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and pre-Jehovah's, oh my, post-Jehovah's, like fucking A. I don't understand. So, I decided to check her profile after I told her off, I checked her profile and, I already had an inkling when she said she was from the South. I mean, she was all over the place. She was just telling us everything, and we didn't even know who the hell she was. And you're just going to put all this in our laps, but then, you're not going to support other people and even devalue them and minimize their experience. Well, I tell you what, she was trying to fuck with me hard. This crackhead really thought she was really pressed about what I said about Jehovah's Witnesses, because I told people, go ahead and Google two-witness rule. I said, I have legal facts, not guesses, not opinions. I have legal facts, and I showed them the links, the whole gambit, the two-witness rule, the database, Pennsylvania Attorney General, the Department of Justice, all of that, okay? All they got to do is Google Jehovah or Jehovah Witness, you know what I mean? And it's all there. So I really didn't have to do anything further than that, but she was pissed. So for a whole week, every time I was talking about the subject matter of the group, cannabis, psychedelics, every time I was conversing with someone else, she had to bring her fat ass in the convo and put some stuff out there to gaslight me, to keep shading me. And she was working hard all week long. All 7 days I gave her, I said to myself, the first couple of days I said, okay, she's gonna, I'm gonna continue to pay her dust, and she's going to get bored and she's going to move on. Okay. And by this time, I kind of gotten annoyed with the whole group thing because I kept getting these notifications every time somebody said something in there, and it was too much for me. I just, I'm not really much into the whole group thing. I like to just observe, and I don't like to be bothered a lot with a lot of notifications and stuff like that. So, unless it's like people I know and I'm talking to them, but just random notifications because somebody posted, in a chat or something, I just don't have it. So, excuse me, I was already going to tell the moderator that invited me that hey, listen, I'm going to take a break from this, but you can DM me one on one, if whatever, if you need any help or anything, or just to say hi, and I'll be there, but I'm going to get out of that group. And I was already uh, you know uh, I was already not feeling it like that anyway. So um I had already made that decision, but I was going to give it a few more days, you know what I mean, just to make sure that I'm making that right decision. That's kind of how I work. I take my time. Sometimes I take years and years and marinate on something before I make a decision. So that's a good thing. You don't want to just fly by the seat of your pants and just let your emotions rule your decision making, because you can get in a lot of trouble like that sometimes. You want to respond and not react. But homegirl was working hard for it, folks. She surely was working hard. I'm saying, I'm just like, every time I was talking, and I was talking about the subject matter in the groups, and these were serious convos. These weren't just, bullshitting. She had to make a point to get in there and somehow always find a way to throw some shade my way. And I didn't even respond or acknowledge her, because once I write somebody off, that's it. I don't, you can be right in front of me and you're invisible, you know. But the problem is, I wanted to block her. And in those group chats, you cannot block people. So this is how Facebook is quirky. Facebook, in the messenger chat groups that are in the messenger, you cannot block others that are in that same chat group. You can pull up the block thing, and what it will do is, if you want to join that, if you want to remain in that chat group, you are forced to have to see that person's posts in that chat, in that messenger chat group. So this is in the messenger, not in the main Facebook. Okay, let me tell you once again. The chat groups in the main Facebook is one thing, but the messenger also has these invisible groups that are only visible to you if you have been invited to them. You will not see them if you haven't been invited. And in those chats, you cannot block anybody. If they're in that chat with you, you can't block them. You can pull up the block feature and you can hit block, and then what it will say is, if you want to remain in this room, then you're gonna be having to see that person's chat posts. So this bitch was constantly trying to shade me every which way she can. And I would skip over, her posts, but your eye is still going to catch a couple of sentences because it's on the screen, right? Even if you're trying to completely not read any of it and just look at what other people are saying. And I was already getting tired of that energetically. It's too much. I'm having to spend extra energy to ignore somebody's comments there, and some of it is still in my eye. So that was another thing. I was like, I already blocked this hoe, and I don't want to see nothing she has to say from now on. I'm done. I want her out of my life. Click out of my life. You know what I mean? And so that was another reason I was getting ready to leave that whole messenger chat thing, because I already have everything I need as far as everything, everything is everything with me. Um, I was invited in there to give support by the moderator. You know what I mean? He and I were cool, or are cool. So anyway, Days went by and she continued, every time I was posting about something, I was talking about a news item. She was like, oh, I forgot who was talking. Oh, I guess I'll see myself out of the chat. And, constantly throwing shade and trying to minimize whatever I was saying. And I was paying her dust. And I said to myself, surely she's going to be an adult about it tomorrow and have moved on. Okay, because she was getting nothing but dust from me. I was not responding. I wasn't, it was like she was invisible. And she was. She was dust to me. She's nothing but a crack hoe. What I look like arguing with a crack hoe? Are you kidding me? No. And in my mind, I was like, she's in a bad place. It's the drugs talking, and I'm just gonna leave her be. But then she was constantly going after me, gaslighting me about the Jehovah Witness child abuse thing over and over. And at some point, I said to myself, now, this bitch is getting evil. This bitch is evil. She knows exactly what she's doing. Okay? And I said, well, let me look at her profile and look at who is this person? And I looked at her profile, and I'm going to tell you, she looked exactly how I imagined. When she said she was from the South and she was a unashamed sex worker and she was up there talking up the Jehovah's Witnesses, I said, I bet you this is one of these fat, nasty looking, hillbilly, inbred, trailer trash, OnlyFans page hoes. Okay? And the visual that I got in my head was of a busted can of biscuits, frozen mayonnaise, okay? Hoes looking like, their bodies looking like a cancerous growth, okay? And guess what? That is exactly what she looks like when I got to her page. And I said, well, I'll be damned. Okay? How are you going to body shame anybody? These are always the same people. These types of people always want to body shame other people. But then they must not have ever heard of a mirror. Because, god damn, bitch, you are the last person to go out here and body shame anybody. Are you for real? Bitch, are you for real? You're a whole 350, 400 pounds. And how do you stay so damn fat when you are on the crack rock? Anyway, yeah, folks, I had to go ahead and roast her. After 7 days, as a parting shot. I had made that decision that Monday morning, Monday morning, that I'm going to leave these chats. I'm going to delete that messenger app off my phone because it's just too much. It's too much, and it's nothing but a nasty ass crackhead, Jehovah Witness crackhead, hoes up in there talking shit to me. No, bye, bitch. I ain't got time for that. Okay, do you, ho? Do you? Okay, and when I went to her page, folks, she had her link tree up, and she had all her Pornhub and sex escort websites, and oh my fucking god! Listen, I'm not gonna put her shit out here on this video because I don't want anybody to be traumatized. Because I'm telling you, that shit was nasty. And her man is an escort too. I guess both of them are doing sex to pay the rent. That's what they had on their escort websites. $50 to help pay the rent and open to anything and everything. Men, women, couples, whatever. Down for whatever is what they had on their sites. And she has a whole Pornhub thing, and oh my god, I gagged. She is Oh my gosh, she's got all of the brown, it looks like shit stains on her inner thighs, her coochie, her ass, and she's steady spreading all that nasty shit, showing it. And do you know she has a zillion pervert subscribers? I'm telling you, and she thinks she looks good. I tell you, you know, uh, I guess this is a new type of field service. I thought I had seen it all when I saw, uh, what was that girl's name over there in Bamalam? The one that ran for mayor. What is her name? Oh, God, her name escapes me right now. You know the one I'm talking about with the sauerkraut hair? The one that was a Jehovah Witness that ran for mayor of Alabama, the capital of Alabama. She was the first woman to run for mayor in the capital of Alabama. You know who I'm talking about? The one that was wearing them bald ass wigs that was Asian fishing. Some people blackfish. She was Asian fishing. She had them Asian wigs and shades on with the fake profiles, trying to run after her man who left her for not one but two Korean women. You remember that one? The guy, he was a police major. And she was chasing him so hard. She was having him meet her daddy. She was getting ready to have him married. And this dude, all he wanted was a piece of ass, and he told her, he got in her ear and told her she could be mayor one day and all that, just to fuck her a couple of times, all right? And she took that hook, line, and sinker and thought this was her new future husband. And he left her behind. He dropped her behind and flew in not one but two Korean women from Korea into a 5-star luxury hotel on the Las Vegas Strip. You hear me? Luxury. Oh my God, I'm talking about Venetian level. And if you've ever been to the Venetian, ooh, whoa. I'm talking about $500-$600 a night. I tell you, them women must have been fine as fuck for him to fly by them whole round trip plane tickets from Korea into Las Vegas, and they spent a whole 2 or 3 weeks. Not one, but two women. Yes, yes. And he had 4 whole cell phones, by the way. She was posting this Shannon Renee Henry Ferrari. Okay? That's her name. She was crying and posting how her man left her, and she should have known he was some player when she found out he had 4 different cell phones. And he left her, and she called the hotel in Las Vegas and had to find out from the front desk that there was 2 women from Korea that were flown in, that he flew in to meet at that hotel. She put that shit out on her Facebook in the middle of her mayor run too. Like, damn, you gonna sling your own self in mud? God, she snitched on her own self. She put her own drama out. Damn, she didn't need any paparazzi. She didn't have any paparazzi. Nobody gave a damn about her. She wasn't even invited to any of the mayoral debates or anything. She was so mad. Anyway, that man had 4 cell phones, and none of them were for any of her calls and texts and emails. None of them. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 4 whole cell phones, 4 working, busy cell phones too. Busy cell phones. I don't know, man. I wouldn't date anybody that had 4 whole cell phones. I just, I don't care who the, 1, 2 maybe if you're someone important at your job, okay, but 3 and 4, nah. Nah, that's all right. We can be friends, I'll keep you at a distance because I don't quite understand what that's about. You know what I mean? And then what? Damn, think about the rejection. This man has 4 different cell phones, and none of them are for you, sweetheart. None of them are for your any of your emails, phone calls, texts, whatever. Zero. Was not answering nothing from you. Damn. Did he ever fly you over from another country in a luxury 5-star hotel in Vegas? Because he got them Korean women. He wanted Korean women. He loves them Asian women, bitch. And that's why she had to go Asian fish with a black wig, you know, and shades, because she definitely can't pass for anything Asian, I'm telling you. She is so far removed from anything remotely Asian. And she was out there Asian fishing under Joy Choi. What was her name? G Choi, some kind of fake ass name. And I looked at that picture and I said, I know that crooked ass nose a mile away. That is Shannon Ferrari, Asian fishing with a fake profile. And she is out there trying to run up behind that man, still stalking him and messing with him. And she is married to a whole other man. I tell you, that is pathetic. Anyway, her mayor campaign just, it was a hot mess. She only got 77 votes, man. She was not even on the map. And then she swore somebody stole her votes. Really, girl? They must have stole 300,000 votes from you, huh? And only left you with 77. Yeah, is that it? You would have won that mayor run if they hadn't have stole your votes, right? Oh, God. Anyway, I think that's where Trump got that stealing the vote thing from, because she was saying that first in 2019. You see what I'm saying? He got it from her. Anyway, back to this hooker here from the groups that I was in. I tell you, I'm going to use the bathroom right quick, and I'm going to get some refreshments going. Going to play a song in the meantime. And then we shall continue, and I might play you this roast. Let me see.
America has a problem.
Cocaine.
America,
Cocaine
America,
has a problem.
America,
Cocaine
America,
has a problem.
America,
Cocaine
America,
has a problem.
America,
Cocaine
America.
has a problem.
There's a white girl in town, her name is Cocaine. Get inside your brain, play you like a lane. Yeah, you on a good side, cause she make you rich. The first time you hit her, break you like a brick. Dress you up in gold, the folks know you with her. They can lock you up, but what do they do with her? They put you
talking about crack hoes down low advertising in totally unrelated user groups and that just so happen to be Jehovah's Witnesses. I tell you, I had seen it. I thought I had seen it all when that Shannon Ferrari ran for mayor. And when they asked her what her qualifications were to run for mayor, she said that she trusts in Jehovah with all her heart, like she was at a Jehovah convention. I just couldn't. That took me out. I was like, what in the actual fuck? This bitch must be on crack cocaine. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm dancing in my chair. Oh my God. All right, folks. Let me play this for you. Let me play this for you guys. Okay, that last voice clip I sent you, that's the roast. Matter of fact, I'm putting it on the video now. Well, I'm talking about the roast and then I'm about to play it on the video now. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Allison Laxton, whatever the fuck your name is, I'm getting about tired of you gaslighting and fucking around here, shading me every time I talk about mushrooms. Your fat ass comes up in the convo and wants to throw shade and devalue me. You know what I mean? You're nothing but a pedophile enabler for the Jehovah's Witnesses. That is a damn shame. How are you going to be a Jehovah's Witness and studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses and you're a fucking whore? Okay, you're out here selling your sex. Do these Jehovah's Witnesses know that? Because I guarantee you that if they do know that you're out here selling your body like that, you are condemned to be destroyed at Armageddon, okay? You think those people are your friends? You have no idea. They've already put a mark on you, okay? And unless you become one of them 100%, you're nothing but a wicked, worldly sinner who's going to be destroyed at Armageddon by Jehovah, okay? I know you have a crack addiction, and I know you have a frozen mayonnaise addiction, but I'm not going to let you have an excuse to go out here and devalue victims of childhood sexual abuse within the Jehovah's Witnesses. Just because you're a Jehovah's Witness, a down low, undercover Jehovah's Witness, okay, doesn't mean jack shit to me. Why the hell are you in the mushroom groups low-key advertising your sex services? You know what I mean? Don't you have a dick to suck at the truck stop? Won't you go to the Kingdom Hall? I guarantee you those sexually suppressed Jehovah's Witnesses, they need some hoes up in there, okay? I don't know why you're out here in the mushroom groups low-key advertising your ugly ass, because, bitch, you look like a motherfucking cancerous growth. You want to talk shit about other people and body shame other people, bitch? I've looked at some of these other people that know about you,
and they've sent me your screenshots, and I've sent them screenshots of what you're doing in these groups. Bitch, go fuck yourself. Go choke on a motherfucking hamburger. And yes, you need to be told about yourself, because I tried to ignore you for days, and every time I'm over here talking about serious things, mushrooms, what this group is about, and entheogens, your fat, hungry, sweaty ass is all up in the convo wanting to come in here and shade somebody for attention. Don't you have clients somewhere in the service? You know what I mean? Don't you have a life? Why are you on people in this chat? You must be that pathetic. But damn, bitch, you look like a whole fucking wildebeest. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face, okay? Seriously, and I don't care if I do get kicked out of this group or whatever. Because I had to let your pedophile enabling ass know, bitch. You are a pedophile enabler. I don't give a fuck if you were a victim of childhood sexual abuse. You are still a sick pedophile enabler, and you stick up for pedophiles. You stick up for those Jehovah's Witness pedophiles, and that is a fact. I saved those screenshots and sent them around to some of those other people that know you. So, you know, you can shove all that shit up your motherfucking ass or down your fat ass throat along with that frozen mayonnaise and those hamburgers and those dicks. Okay? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you must still be smoking crack, bitch. You must still be on the damn crack. You need to get off the crack quick, bitch, because you're losing your fucking mind. How you gonna be that fat and be on crack, bitch? How you gonna stay fucking 500 pounds and on crack? I don't understand. And moderators, like I said, I have ignored her for days and days and days, and she goes out of her way to get in my convos with other people. Okay, I was posting in here about a reliable tech, not a crackhead, you know, taking gas, a pedophile enabling person. I didn't ask you anything, Allison. You should have kept your fat ass mouth shut. You know what I mean? Go stick a dick in that motherfucker and do your job, you know? Ugly ass bitch. That's why you up in the fucking mushroom chats, because you can't get any clients. If they see your ass, they're not gonna pay you. So you gotta go up in the mushroom chats, you know, and low-key advertise that you're in the sex industry. I'm an unashamed sex worker, by the way. Yeah, who gives a fuck, bitch? This is about mushrooms. Why the fuck are you advertising in the damn mushroom group? Oh, God, these people kill me. Bitch, please. We sat back and laughed at your ass. Yeah. And then when we looked at your profile, it was like, oh, shit. I knew you was some fat-ass, hillbilly, inbred, pedophile apologist, pedophile enabling bitch for the Jehovah's Witnesses. How come all the motherfucking wacky-ass Jehovah's Witnesses have OnlyFans and they're sex workers on the internet, and then they go to the Kingdom Hall and talk about Jehovah and the Bible and the Lord and all of this shit, and then you guys cover up pedophiles. You bitches have a whole database, a pedophile database, bitch, and you're in here talking about, no, it's not that, and the Jehovah's Witnesses I know are good people, and they would never do something like that. Well, bitch, I guess you know better than a court of law. I guess you know better than the whole Australian Royal Commission over there in Australia. You know better than Judge McClellan over there, don't you? You know better than the fucking Department of Justice here in the U.S., you know better than the Attorney General in Pennsylvania, don't you, you fucking fat-ass crackhead? Bitch, you are still on the crack. You never left the crack. It is so obvious. Go fuck yourself. Now. Bitch, your body looks like a cancerous growth. Talking about, ooh, ladies, the 30s. Look at the women in the 30s. Bitch, you look like you're in your 50s already. I didn't know you were supposed to be 30, bitch. You look old as hell. You look like somebody's trailer trash grandma, bitch. Yeah, I had to take it there because I'm tired of this fat bitch in my face and constantly trying to trigger me because I'm a childhood survivor of sexual abuse within the Jehovah's Witnesses. fuck you, bitch. You're nothing but a... You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you might be somebody that enables that shit, you know, with their own children and shit. Because there's a lot of you bitches in that Jehovah Witness thing doing that. You guys are going to get yours. Hey, you might be on that list even. Hey, you ever thought about that, you fat ass bitch? Fucking pedophile enabling asshole. Now, that's all I have to say about it. Okay. See you all later.
So yeah, that was the recording, folks. Yeah, buddy, I lit her ass up. She worked hard for it though, folks, because I tried my best. Listen, I prayed to Jehovah H. God, Jehovah Henry God. I said, please, Jehovah H. God, with a double D, please, 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 please don't make me roast her. Please give her a, please just let her go on now. Go on now. I'm really not trying to do this over here. I have told myself I'm going to scale back on the roast. I don't have to always quite roast somebody, I don't. And then, there's some people out there, and you know who you are. You deserve a fat ass roast now, but you're not going to get one. Not from me. Because the universe has let me know, not this one. This one's going to get roasted by somebody else, just like you. But you're not that roaster for that one, okay? So, not everyone gets a roast from me. I just don't hand out roasts willy-nilly. If you've gotten a roast, consider yourself fucking honored to have been blessed by my genius, okay? I know you might not see it that way, but my bestie says that if she ever got roasted, she would consider it an honor. Even though she don't want to ever be roasted, and I don't ever want to roast her or anyone, really. Honestly, I don't want to roast people, okay? I don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to roast people, Now, if somebody does some shit and attacks me in a nasty way, if they want to use the child abuse stuff to gaslight me, manipulate me, then the fucking hook might just come on out on your ass. I'm going to try my best to hold that hook back, because that's just how I am. I'm not trying to give it out to just any just nilly-willy anyone, I try to let people just go on and live their life, and even though they might have done something bad, I don't always have to get them back, or I don't always have to use stick power, Sometimes I can use a different kind of power, and sometimes I can just let it go, Sometimes it's not even worth my time, you know what I mean? Sometimes I can just let it go. And I had let it go. But see, homegirl worked a whole week now, and my friend is telling me please stay in the chats, and I'm trying to, actually stay in the chat. Like, it was all right, I mean, I could have turned off the notification button and just, controlled when I am pulled into that, you know what I mean, a little bit better. But this homegirl, she knew that you can't block people on there, and so she was going to use that. And she was going to keep fucking with me because she was mad that I had put the Jehovah's Witness. I spilled the tea on her Jehovah's Witness cult, okay? But I'm thinking, now, bitch, how are you a Jehovah's Witness if you're hoeing? You're a fucking crack whore. Like, you are marked for life, bitch. You will never, ever be accepted in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, they might give you lip service, and yeah, they'll dunk your ass in that water, and they'll take your little money that you donate in the contribution box, but you're never going to be trusted. Are you kidding me? They don't even trust single mothers that aren't sex workers, just regular women that are not sex workers, that just so happen to be single mothers. They don't even trust them. So how much more an unashamed, quote unquote, proud sex worker, aka crack whore? Okay, I'm just going to put it out there like it is, folks. Come on now. Come on now, I'm not mincing words here. This is what people think of you if you do that. They're going to say, oh, crack addiction. She has problems staying off of cocaine. She's had addiction problems. She's out there, unashamed. I mean, she's got her link tree out there. I'm not going to give her full free promotion. Okay. But she is out there and she's out and proud. She's got her link tree. Like I said, she's on Twitter, Instagram, Pornhub, and sex escort sites, everything. And she is just I don't understand how that works. Folks, has something changed with the Watchtower people, Jehovah people? I haven't been in touch with any of it. I haven't really bothered to look into any more news reports about it for some time. I've gone into a different direction in life. I mean, I'm not opposed to knowing about it or looking it up once in a while, but honestly, am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how you can be a Jehovah's Witness, be up in these unrelated chats that are not related to Jehovah, they're not related to sex or hoeing. These are just regular mainstream user chats about, like I said, it could be anything about cats, about knitting sweaters, about trail walking, about RVing, about playing bass guitar, cannabis, mushrooms, psychedelics, library books, I don't know, anything. And you have these Jehovah Witness hookers. Jehovah fucking Witness hookers. That's like you have Jehovah Witness politicians. Yes, it exists. Listen, look up Shannon Ferrari, Jehovah Witness. Look up Shannon Ferrari, Mayor, Montgomery, Alabama. Reddit. That's all you got to do. And it is all there. There's a whole nutshell right there on that Reddit thread. And get your popcorn ready, too. Get your popcorn ready. Don't drink anything when you're reading it, okay? And before you go over there and Google this now, I want you to use the bathroom a couple of times and then put a towel underneath your seat when you do sit down. Trust me. You'll know why. You'll know why once you read that, okay? And from there, you're going to have a lot more keywords to Google because they've been put out there in such a way for the algorithms and search engine optimized, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some reading to do. You are telling you this is better than television, and it's all true life. Best of all, it's all true life. Anyway, now back to this right here. Like I said, I thought I had heard it all, folks, when I saw this thing in Montgomery, Alabama, run for mayor. She's a whole Jehovah's Witness. Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll kick your ass out of that church for voting, much less running for a mayor. Are you kidding me? That's like a huge no-no. They don't let people in the military. You can't be military. You will be destroyed by their Jehovah God for joining the military, for voting, for celebrating birthdays, for smoking a cigarette, for having premarital sex, basically for just breathing and existing, okay? That's basically it. I'm telling you. So this woman here, she was almost a born-in. I think she grew up in the whole thing. She ran for mayor, and she was doing it like a Jehovah Witness preaching campaign. I kid you not. She even had the Jehovah Witness thrift store clothes. She had the ill-fitting suit where the sleeves were coming down all the way to the knuckles of her thumb and the knuckles of her hand. And then she had these high heels, little, I don't know, sandal things, and her toes were like cliffhangers, man. Her toes were just hanging over the shoe like they were not fitting. I don't know where she got these things. She must not have bought them. She must have got them given to her as hand-me-downs. Some widow, or somebody, maybe those old men that was her boyfriends, because oh, by the way, her campaign was a total bust. Only 3 people came to see her, and they were all her ex-boyfriends. And I knew that from her MySpace page because it was the same old men that was her boyfriends. Yeah, they were like older than her dad, too. Yup. She has like a thing for old guys, that are older than daddy. I think she has daddy issues for real. It's so plain to see, the whole town has been saying that for years and years. She has daddy issues. And I can see why. I can totally understand why. I tell you. Anyway, where was I? She ran for mayor, and it was so hilarious. She was on television, on national television, the whole nation, because she had her sights set for running for governor. She wasn't just trying to run for mayor. She wanted to run for governor. And let me tell you, she barely graduated high school. She never had any kind of education beyond high school. She started having babies right away. She was married. She didn't even have that high school diploma in her hands a good 10 minutes. And she was already married and pregnant and just popping out them babies. And then one or two of them were by some other dude. So I don't know what happened with that or that. But the poor husband ended up having to pay and raise for all of them, and he did his best, I'm sure, with what he had to work with in her, because good Lord, you know what I mean? And they said, look, allegedly, I never said it, but now that I think about it, there might be some truth to it, that she must have been on some crack cocaine to be running for mayor, because she never raised a dollar in that community. She never really did. She didn't have the education. She was going up against people from Vanderbilt University and Yale and Harvard. And she really thought she had a fighting chance with these people, people that have been circuit judges and doctors and lawyers, that have been council members, that have some kind of experience in politics and law, and she was steady talking about she studied criminal justice at South University. She studied, but it didn't say she had a degree, and it didn't even say, how you can list like the classes and courses you've completed. She didn't even list any of that. You know what? That bitch got an orientation printout. And so she said, you know what, I'm going to put on my resume and on my Facebook that I studied at this university. She didn't go past the orientation printout. After that, she dropped that class. She realized she was going to have to read a book or two. And she was like, oh, no, ma'am, I can't do this. Her brain practically already exploded at the orientation packet, okay? She looked through that syllabus and her brain blew up, okay? She was like, oh my God, I'm done already. Nope, and nope. Okay, that's how that turned out. But, I guess it's a matter of perspective when you say studied at South University, quote unquote studied. I'm sure she studied that orientation package. You know what I'm saying? She had to study that orientation package because it included a syllabus up in there. And that syllabus is pretty serious looking. Some of these degrees that people say that they want to go after require the fact that you might have to read a book or two, you know what I mean? And I know over there where she's from and the kind of people that she's from, they don't really, only books they read is Jehovah books. And matter of fact, that's where they get their college education, is from the back of the Awake magazine. Their Awake magazine. Their church publishes a magazine called Awake, and it has college level material in the back of it, and it has college level material in the back of the Wake magazine for people to read every couple of weeks and just basically get the same education as a Vanderbilt University and Harvard University graduate. What do you want, people? So she thought that she had a fighting chance to run for mayor. And when she was on television, they had her on the local news and national news. She knew she was going to be a celebrity. I tell you, these attention news hoes, they'll do anything to get in the news, even if they embarrass themselves, like that Romy Maple that I talked about yesterday. They'll do anything to get on the TV, even if it's just the most embarrassing stain they're gonna leave on themselves for the rest of their lives. They don't care. So anyway, she got on the news, and so they asked her, "What are your qualifications for running for mayor?" So she said, number one, she's a single mother of 3 kids. And then number two, she had 3 jobs and even ran her own business. Okay. Now, I know she had a job selling MLMs, Rodan and Fields and Avon. I know that was a couple of her jobs was selling Avon, and MLMs. I know those don't count as jobs, but we're going to help her out right now. Okay, she needed all the help she could get for that mayor run. Okay, because she didn't have nothing. Okay, so we're going to help her out and let her keep saying that she had 3 jobs when really all she had was selling MLMs and babysitting other people's kids in her trailer. Okay, they were dropping the kids off because she was staying at home with her kids, so she made a little extra money telling people, oh, well, you can drop off your baby over here, I'm home all day with mine, and you can help me out a little bit with food or something. That's what that 3rd job was. Okay. And single mom, I don't understand. Okay, we'll help her out once again. Yes, technically she is a mom. Okay, even though her kids are grown and already have babies on their own. Okay, but we will say she's a mom, and yes, she was single when she was running for mayor, supposedly, right? That's when she was running after that guy with the 4 cell phones, and then she had another guy who was helping her with the crackers to serve at her campaign thing. Yeah, she was serving crackers. She wasn't gonna serve no real food. She served some cheap ass stale 4th of July cookies and some opened up crackers from Walmart, and some great value cheese dip that she turned the other way so you wouldn't see it was great value, and some half drunk Czech soda bottles that she rummaged through the back of her fridge, and like I said, nobody showed up. It's just her son helping her and his girlfriend, and then this dude here that she ended up marrying because he bought her those banners and those yard signs and those crackers for her campaign. Nobody else wanted her. The cop didn't want her. He ran away. Can you believe that? She drove that man away. She drove him away. I tell you. Anyway, it's a hot mess. I tell you, that's some Jerry Springer stuff, Maury Povich, you know what I mean? This is good material. I'm going to make some money off of this stuff because these are good material. This is good stuff for screenplays and Hollywood movies, and sitcoms. And it's all true, I tell you. I can't make this shit up any better. True life surely is much better than a crazy story you could ever make up sometimes. But yeah, she had some sordid history, some sexual history behind her too. She has a reputation of being I'm just gonna say it, a harlot. Isn't that what the Jehovah's Witness call such women that's out there and nasty and hoeing and just in the nastiest of ways? I mean, look, if you're out there doing crack and you're out there, gaslighting people that you really shouldn't, and doing it in a really nasty, evil way, you know what I mean? Then don't be surprised when somebody comes over there and tells you about yourself. Don't cry victim. Don't say, oh, this person's so mean and horrible. Oh, no. You worked hard for it. And that mayor girl worked hard for it too. She sure did. She worked real hard for it. And I'll tell you, that whole town was on her. I mean, she just she ruined her own reputation. Before she could ever blame anyone else, she ruined her own self. I mean, when she ran for mayor, they was pulling out these frivolous lawsuits that she had filed against almost every employer she ever worked for, and it was always of a sexual nature, sexual discrimination and sexual harassment, and it was just always of a sexual, the theme of sexual, and that was kind of weird too, and coupled with the fact that she has probably some daddy issues, and all kinds of stuff. Like, she went to the churches crying. That was her campaign. She would go to the churches. Now, remember, she's a Jehovah's Witness. So in their mind, every other religion is wicked and evil and false. And they're not allowed to even touch other churches' Bibles and pamphlets. No. Like, you can get kicked out of the Jehovah's Witness for good, right? So this one, she went into the churches. And I guess she was trying to convince whole churches to run, to vote for her. And what she ended up doing was crying to them about people that's quote unquote lying about her family and her church. And them church people looked at each other and they were like, what in the world is wrong with her? Right? She thought she was going to get some sympathy because she started crying. She, I guess that's the way she's always got her way. Just start crying. I don't know, but they started calling her a crybaby politician, and those church people had to tell her, baby, that's how it is when you are running in politics. Like, you get slung through the mud. Like, everything that you've ever done wrong or could do wrong is gonna be thrown in your face. Sweetie, did you not know this already coming in? Your parents didn't teach you that? Nope. Because they're Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't believe in any of that. So she comes from high class trailer trash. Okay? She comes from the elite trailer trash. The kind that gets ignored by the elite of the elite of the elite of the elite of the alcoholic. Anyway, K. Ivy was not trying to have anything to do with Paul Shano. Okay, Shano, she was trying hard to get a forced endorsement from the governor, K. Ivy of Alabama. Okay, for her mayor run. She thought Kay Ivey was going to go over there and co-sign and endorse her. Yeah, she was totally delusional, folks. Like I said, she barely got her high school diploma. She had that thing in her hand 10 minutes, and she was already married and barefoot pregnant, popping out the third baby. Okay? And like I said, that third one was not her husband's child. I'm going to leave it at that because, she says one thing, but, the streets say another thing, and then the truth is a whole other dog from all three of that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's what I'm going to leave it at. Okay, but needless to tell you, and oh my God, her daughter shot up. Her daughter was 7 months pregnant when she was shooting out a building. According to the news report, she was shooting up occupied buildings with guns, running around shooting up guns. Oh yeah. And so she was gonna run a whole city, right? Yeah, she was gonna run that city budget too into the ground. And but we all knew she wasn't that. She didn't have a fighting chance. She thought she had a chance, but she was so delusional. But yeah, she's a Jehovah Witness. Yeah, she still is. They hadn't disfellowshipped her. Did they? I don't know. Now, there's allegations out there, and I have not verified that she was supposedly put into a psychiatric place afterwards for a minute or two, a couple of days or something. She had some kind of mental disease, a mental illness issue or something. I don't know. These are allegations. Somebody from a whole other state that is not where I'm at and that is not in Alabama allegedly called somebody in Alabama to tell them about it, and then that person called another person that called me and told me about it. So I don't have any 100% verification of that, but I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't doubt it if it was true, because yeah, you definitely something has to be wrong with a person to go run for mayor and then be a Jehovah's Witness at the same time. No, totally not. Again, split in the head, batshit crazy, and I wouldn't doubt if that girl that ran for mayor has a thing like this other one. It's so weird. It's like these Jehovah's Witnesses are so weird these days. Have they always been this twisted and weird, or is it are they getting worse? I guess maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, folks, I just can't. I just can't wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around it. you know, um, I tell you, life sure is funny. I tell you, life sure has its funny, hilarious, freaking insanely hilarious moments. If you saw how this woman looks, you know, and the ugliness that she did in the chat room, continued to try to gaslight and go out of her way to reach for me. And, I'm paying her nothing but dust. I'm trying hard not to roast her. I'm like, go on now, leave me alone, and I'm just ignoring. And then I was like, well, since I'm leaving this chat, let me leave a couple of parting shots, for her and whoever else wants to marinate on that. Okay. Let me clear you up about a couple of things here while I'm leaving about yourself. Okay. All right. Since you kept reaching for my attention, you worked very hard, you worked a whole week for it. And now it's time for your paycheck. That's only fair. You work a whole week, you spend 40 plus hours at a certain thing, you should be getting a nice paycheck at the end of that week. Okay, so I had my weekend, and so first thing Monday morning, I made sure to hand out that paycheck that hooker worked so hard for. If she had to work so hard at the hooking that she's supposed to be doing, she might have had a little money in her hands. But instead she got taught by the golden motherfucking teacher. The great golden motherfucking teacher, okay? This is a different one from the golden teacher. This is the great golden motherfucking teacher, okay? Let me tell you guys something about mushrooms and cannabis and psychedelics. They ain't all peaches and creamy and roses, okay? Don't come in the fucking mushroom thing thinking, oh, I'm going to feel euphoric and I'm going to get all this wonderful beauty and high and healing. And yeah, you're going to get healing now. You're going to get exactly what you need. But that mushroom isn't always fluffy pansy light. That mushroom can also be very, very scary, terrifying, dark, because it shows you. And you have both light and dark in you. And it's going to rip the motherfucking veil right off of all of you and force you to see you. So that hooker should consider that roast her initiation into the motherfucking psychedelics. Okay, she's fucking around talking about she wants mushrooms. Bitch, you better be careful what you wish for. You better be careful what you wish for, bitch, because you just might get it. You just might get something to help you get off that motherfucking crack. Okay? You just might get something to help you get your motherfucking shit together. Because I do believe you got a little taste of it through somebody. The mushroom gave you a fucking taste, bitch. That mushroom was channeled straight to you, letting you know, you sure you want some of this? You sure you're ready, bitch? Let's see. Consider this your initiation and the beginning of your journey. The journey doesn't start when you eat the mushroom, bitch. The journey starts a long time before you ever eat that mushroom and put it in your mouth. Welcome. Okay, I'm just here to tell you, the magic mushroom journey does not start when you put it in your mouth. It starts way before. So anyway, folks, look, she's on the right track. She trying to eat some fucking mushrooms. She needs to eat as many of them as she can. Stuff the mushroom in your mouth, not the dicks and hamburgers, bitch. Okay? Put a fucking mushroom in your mouth. Eat that mushroom like you eat that frozen mayonnaise, hoe, and then you're going to be on a much better level with life in the long term, you know? Keep eating those fucking mushrooms, bitch. Take a motherfucking 10-gram dry dose and listen to my recording over and over and over while you go off the deep end into that journey and marinate and learn. You know what I mean? You're going to become a little bit more self-aware for sure. And you're gonna come from that mushroom trip and you're gonna thank the stars above that somebody took the time to read you for fucking filth. Okay? To roast you to a charred crisp. Okay? Shit you should have been told long time ago. See, I was the kind of person, those other people, they weren't really trying to tell her about her, you know, some people, I'm going to tell you something. It's always good to be kind and nice, but some of that quote unquote kindness and niceness is hurting people, okay? Because you're leading people down a path to believe something about themselves that is not true, and then they get a shock of their lifetime when somebody, actually tells them the truth about themselves, because nobody around them took the time to pull them aside and say, listen, XYZ. But some of these people, I do believe she's one of those people that even if she must have been told a few times, she wasn't going to pay no mind to them. She knew everything better than anyone else with her crackhead ass, smoking the crack pipe in one hand and then reading the Jehovah Bible in the other. Are you fucking kidding me? And then filming herself on the damn Pornhub with the other motherfucking window. You got a window open for jw.org, a window open for Pornhub, and then you got a motherfucking crack pipe in your hand. What the fuck is going on these days, Jehovah's and ex-Jehovah's? Like, I don't understand. I don't fucking understand. I know Jehovah's Witness, the organization, has investments in Showtime and soft porn. What's that called? Showtime and Cinemax. That sex channel. I know they got investments in that, but, do they have some kind of undercover mind control, MK Ultra conspiracy ops that they're running on people where they're hoeing people out on the side, hoeing certain members of the church out and getting them on Pornhub or what? Doing theocratic warfare in psychedelic chats and in running and exercise fitness chats. The Jehovah hoes love the fitness chats. Are you kidding me, people? I see them undercover Jehovah Witness hookers. I'm telling you, real live hookers. Proud and unashamed hookers too. And then they get mad when you say anything about Jehovah. I'm just like, what? What? You're doing field service and hoeing at the same time? What the fuck? Oh my God, people, the world has gone crazy. I cannot wrap my head around that. Seriously. I take mushrooms sometimes. I've had my head blown to smithereens a zillion times from a zillion psychedelics. I consider myself a creative person. I'm an artist. I can reach way out there. I understand about space and physics and astronomy. I can go way out there. I can talk about esoteric topics, the Kabbalistic tree, Buddhism, philosophy, Aristotle's categories of being. I can go way, way out there, but this right here, I cannot wrap my head around. What in the actual fuck, people? There are some really, I just can't. I cannot. So yeah, folks, watch out for the undercover Jehovah Witness crack holes on the internet. They're everywhere. They're like cockroaches crawling up everywhere. So you got to watch what you say about them Jehovah's, because you might be ticking one of these things off, and then they're gonna try and gaslight you and fuck with you and do all kinds of stuff, troll you, because they're getting mad about that organization. Tell you, I guess that's how they keep it going. They're holding people out or something. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then some of them want to run for mayor. And that one too. You know what? I wonder if she had some kind of sordid. Well, she does have a reputation, like I said, for being. This is allegations, allegedly. They came out when she ran for mayor. They were saying how she was trying to cozy up and buddy up to just any and all politicians that she could get to. She would hang out at this one spot. I guess that's where these types of crowds would frequent. And she was just, throwing it out there and hopping on any penis and cock and dick that she could, that she thought was gonna give her a level up, And I think she managed to get pregnant by one of these Z-rate politicians. I don't know. I never heard of him or whatever, but I think it wasn't him. It was his son's life coaches, personal trainers, dentists, landscaper. I think that's what it was. So she was kind of close into that arena, but she never really got in there. You know what I mean? So that was like the closest she could get. Anyway, the whole town there was like, she's the first person we ever seen that has slept her way to the bottom, and I just had to shake my head. I was like, wow, this is what they think and say about her in her own hometown, and she's trying to run for mayor? Oh my God, what a mess. Yeah, and that was just, that was traumatic to watch. That train wreck was traumatic to watch, but you couldn't look away, it was just so entertaining. But yeah, and anyway, so they said that she was out there doing, trying to sleep with these politicians and all that, and trying to, sleep her way up. And she didn't manage to do that. But, of course, can you call that a sex worker? I mean, she may not have been on Pornhub. I mean, I can't say, I don't really know. But I guess it is along those lines, sex for pay, sex for favors, using sex to, get a leg up in life, right? A financial leg up in life, to have more resources, to have more material resources. So, yeah, I think that would qualify as hoe and hooker, because hooker is not necessarily someone that gets paid or is successful in their sex work. There might not be an official sex worker, quote unquote, but they're still doing the same thing. Come on now. You know what I mean? They still slinging that pussy to get material gain and power over others too. Some of them do it for power, to mentally and psychologically manipulate men. They got all kinds of ways to do it. So, yeah. So yeah, folks, I don't understand. I don't see how you can be a Jehovah and do that. So it must be the crack. These people must be taking some heavy ass crack and cocaine. Stay off the crack and cocaine, folks. There's good drugs and there's bad drugs. Okay, you must understand the difference. Seriously, and some of those bad drugs are totally legal. All right, I'm just gonna let you know. Some of these horrible, horrible drugs that you should have illegal are going to be prescribed to you by your doctor. I'm just letting you know, folks. Know your drugs. Know which ones are good and which ones aren't. Try to stay off the bad ones. Hell, try to just stay off whatever you can and live normal. You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to inebriation by no means. I'm not opposed to a little bit of alcohol sometimes. I'm not opposed to a little bit of mushrooms at the proper setting, using them responsibly in a legal setting. I'm not opposed to cannabis, again, in the proper setting, in the legal locations responsibly. I'm not opposed to using alcohol sometimes responsibly, in a balanced way, in a safe and legal setting. But don't use it as a crutch to get away from something in your life. That's not what I endorse at all. Now, you know what? Having said that, I'll be honest with you, I'm like a zillion other people. I've used alcohol a little bit as a crutch sometimes, especially around Christmas time. I might drink 3 beers or 4 beers instead of just one or two. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not too proud of that. I've overindulged. I obsess about it, because it's calories and all of that. But hey, sometimes you might have an extra beer or two that you really don't need. Or you might reach for food and eat pizza or something that isn't healthy instead of something you need to be eating healthy, right? Or you might smoke some weed because you're stressed and you just need a stress release. You need a reliever. You might be in pain. There's nothing wrong with using cannabis to help heal your pain. You might be in emotional pain and psychological pain. That's where you kind of have to be careful because you can end up using it easily as a crutch. And to escape pain that you might need to sit with for a minute so you can process and work that out. But there's a lot of pain from trauma that people have, from childhood trauma, that is so overwhelming, and it's been overwhelming since the very beginning, and they need a little bit more than weed. Weed can help you, but do not use it as a sole method to deal with this stuff. You got to get out there with a professional, qualified, compassionate facilitator of sorts. Be that a counselor, a psychologist, psychotherapist. Psychotherapy is what I'm talking about. And you got to put the time into it. Where there's a will, there's a way. It's not just going to be handed to you. Listen, the way the world is, it's still not a priority for our society. That's why it's so hard to get a good counselor, and it's expensive. But listen, if you're out here buying $100, $200 tennis shoes, then you can afford a counselor. Okay? And I'm talking about people who may not even have a job. You've got money to buy all these other things, clothes and chains and watches, then you've got money for a damn counselor. Okay? It's all about priorities. And if you have a job, insurance doesn't really cover it or whatever, put the time into it. Look around. You've got to search and keep searching. And it's really just that. You've got to put the time into it. Because there's some things out there that people are carrying, and they're using these psychedelics as crutches. And you're not doing yourself any good by doing that. These things are meant to be used in a safe, responsible, balanced way, not abused in any sort of way. And I see this often, and I see the quirkiest of characters reaching for this. Be sure you know what you're reaching for, okay? Be sure you know what you're reaching for. I think you're on the right track, but you're going to get taught a lesson. So, hey, the painful lessons sometimes are the best lessons. As far as the mushroom's concerned, not saying that they're the best for everybody, but, one of the things about psychedelics is this, there's definitely healing in there, and you will get healed. You will definitely get what you need each and every time. There's no doubt. But it may not be what you expect, and you may have to go through something to get some perspective in life. To get reminded of who and what you are, you see. And you're not going to get that from any person in any building. No church is going to give that to you. No book anywhere. You can read a zillion books, you'll never get this. Because this is an experience. First-hand experience trumps it all. It trumps it all. So anyway, that's my story and that's my roast on, what shall we call this? Explicit language, roast. I don't know. I'll think of a title. But, my gosh. We sure have had our laughs, hadn't we? I woke up laughing. One of my friends said she was listening to the roast and she laughed herself to sleep on it. So I'm glad my roasts are giving therapy, you know. But I tell you, between that one with Romy Maple and then this one here, I tell you what in the world, I tell you some wacky ass people out there for real. And they just don't care. They don't care how they get on your screen, man. They don't care how they get in front of your screen. Anyway, any means possible, man. Anyway, so that's that. It is raining, pouring again. Cats and dogs. It's so cold out here. I think I'm going to head out and appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you listening to me, folks. You know, I got a little fan base going. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.
Battery 100%. Connected to Galaxy A715G.